Hi, I just wanted to record a short video just so you can see what it looks like inside the Growing with Gratitude login area. Now, what I'll do, I'll just go through some of these components down the left-hand side here just to give you an idea about what it's about and also a bit of the philosophy behind Growing with Gratitude at the same time. So down the left-hand side here of screen, we've got foundation. Depending on where you live, that also might be known as reception grade level or prep or kinder, just depends where you're from in Australia, and also right down through to grade 7. So I'll just click on grade 2 for an example. Now this is consistent across each grade level, but I'll just use grade 2 as an example. So for each of these grade levels, we've got the lessons are linked to the Australian Curriculum Achievement Standards. So I'll just quickly show you how this looks. Now what we've done, we've copy and pasted the achievement standard, which has been taken from the Australian Curriculum website, and then we've highlighted what part has been covered in the particular lesson. Now it just doesn't cover health and PE, it also goes into English as well, and as well as also we cover the drama and the arts as well in different ways. So I just wanted to show you that component quickly. Now here we've got, starting from introducing growing with gratitude right down to positive people celebration, we've got 10 lessons for each grade level. Now the reason why we've got 10 lessons is because we do a lot of research with the University of South Australia, particularly on the Growing with Gratitude program. And what we discovered, it's really important to explicitly teach what gratitude, what kindness, what empathy, what mindfulness actually is to students. So we do that in a longer form of more explicit teaching. So that's the traditional 30 to 45 minute lessons. But at the same time, we totally understand that primary school teachers often get quite a number of things added to their daily schedules and not much taken away. So the idea behind this, now what some schools do is to really build that culture within the classroom. They'll either do a lesson every day for 2 weeks to make up those 10 lessons, or one lesson a week for 10 weeks to really build that culture within the classroom and around the school. And then once those 10 lessons are complete, then we don't just want to stop there. Because when we're learning positive education or teaching children well-being, it's like a skill. It's like learning a sport. If we just do it for a certain amount of time and then leave it, well, it's not going to. Students aren't going to improve, and it's not going to be a habit and become part of who they are. So this is just the start to build the knowledge about what gratitude, what kindness, what empathy, what mindfulness actually is. And then I'll show you how we continue on with that practice shortly. But I'll just show you an example of one of the lessons here. I'll use Into the Future as an example of how it looks in our login area of each of the lessons. So what we've got up here, we've just got a little description of what the lesson is. And then we've got just a short 30 to 45 second overview of the lesson. And it's just a voiceover and the outcomes of the lesson. Then we've got the lesson instructions. So one of the keys to the Growing with Gratitude program is it has to be, or one of the key things we wanted to cover was it had to be easy for teachers to teach. And a part of that was supplying the instructions at an easy to understand level for everyone, so it was an easy thing they could teach, and rather than having to plan or plan another lesson or anything on top of their busy schedules already, we wanted to make that make the program a fully resourced program for teachers. So this is the lesson instructions for this particular lesson, which is Into the Future. If I just click back, and then we've got, this lesson actually requires a template. So the template is here of a bit of a poster for the students to work from. And essentially this lesson it's about children anticipating the things that they've got coming up, because up to 90% of joy that comes from an event is actually found to be that time leading up. And so what the students have to do, they have to write about something that's coming up in their life and tell us why they're most looking forward to that. And it's a really cool poster, looks great in the classroom after they've done, or students take them home and put them up in their house as well. So that's just an example of each lesson, and it's fully resourced, but it's about teaching explicitly what a lot of these concepts that we're trying to teach are around gratitude, around kindness, around empathy, around mindfulness, also around the growth mindset with the positive reflection and optimism as well. So that's just a bit of a snapshot of what it looks like from each of the grade levels perspective. Also, I wanted to show you a couple other things. So that's the start. So we want to really to build that culture within the school and the classrooms to teach those 10 lessons first. It's achievable because it's not overwhelming. There's not too much extra work the teachers have to do, but it's highly powerful for the students to learn. Now, here's the key to the whole Growing with Gratitude program. Now, this is what we call the Habits of Happiness wheel. We've got two wheels. We've got a junior primary one and a primary one, and it's just coming up here. It's a bit slow. Here we go. So what we've got, I'll just, for the sake of this example, I'll click on the primary one. Now what we've got here, we've got 15 short 2 to 10 minute activities. Now the philosophy of the Growing with Gratitude program is based on what we call the 5 habits of happiness. And the 5 habits of happiness are an attitude of gratitude, so focusing on gratitude, random acts of kindness, which is focusing on kindness, positive reflection, which is focusing on optimism, the growth mindset, empathy, reflecting on the good things that happen in a student's day. And then we've got something we call a well-being warrior, which is the mindfulness and physical activity side of well-being. And then we've got something called Operation Home Service, which teaches about service. So students, for a start, doing things around the house to help out their family by serving their families, but then the next stage will be to serve in the school and then in the wider community after that. So I think it's very important to teach students to be service-orientated people. So each of these lessons focus on those elements of the 5 habits of happiness. So we've got 3 on gratitude, 3 on kindness, 3 on positive reflection, 3 on a well-being warrior, and 3 activities on the Operation Home Service. So what we do is spin the wheel. It's really fun. This is the fun and engaging part for the students because they love doing this on a daily basis. So this is called the Daily Habits of Happiness wheel. Now the idea is that in an ideal world that the students would do this every day, or if not every day, at least 3 or 4 times a week to really build that habit. Now it's really easy for the teachers to teach, okay, because it's a wheel, it's a web app. They put it on the TV in their room or the smart board, and they spin the wheel, and the instructions pop up of what the activity is. Now this one is a gratitude activity. It's called Drop It in the Jar. So we give out the gratitude jar stickers, and you get a jar and place the stickers on to create that really cool gratitude jar within the classroom. So what the students have to do, they have to write something they are grateful for on a piece of paper and drop it in the gratitude jar. Now there's some guiding questions here as well. So this activity is really cool because what it does, it creates a jar in the classroom that for a start looks great, but also it creates a big collection of things that the students are grateful for in the classroom. And what the teacher can do is refer back to those things in the jar also, just to read out at a time when the students just might be need a lift and need a reminder of what the things that they do have that they are grateful for. Because as I said at the start, it's exactly the same as a skill. And we've got to allow students to consciously practice so it becomes a part of who we are. So the Growing with Gratitude program has been carefully put together with the fact that we understand that teachers get a lot of stuff added to their days, but it's so important at the same time to explicitly teach and build a culture in the school around explicit teaching lessons. So we've got 10 of them at the start. And then we move into the Growing with Gratitude Habits of Happiness wheel activities, which are short 2 to 10 minute daily activities to really consciously practice building the culture within the classroom and in the school, but more importantly, making it a part of who the students are from a young age. So I just wanted to share with you the wheel, and there's a few other little components here as with the Growing with Gratitude program. And I'll just show you very quickly because I know these videos have taken a bit longer than expected. We've got a bit of an assessment tool here as well, which is a bit of a tracker. Now, schools don't have to use it, but they can if they like. It's here for for them to use. So what it is, it's a bit of a self-assessment, but also class teachers can use it as well. It might be more of an appropriate tool to use for the upper primary, particularly from a self-assessment point of view, but certainly can be used from any grade level from a teacher or a specialist perspective. So what we've got here, we've got, for example, gratitude, and then we've got some statements underneath. So it says recognises others by thanking them, and then the teacher will rate the student from not at all, a little, somewhat, quite a lot, lots, and I'd rank them, give them the score according to the numbers there, and then they work through we've got gratitude, all the categories. So we've got gratitude, kindness, resilience, positive reflection, empathy, and service-minded, and then a little space there to put their best strengths. But the idea is to put a score there, the average score, and then you might do that at the start of a term, and then by the end of the term you might, and after you've been doing the activities on a consistent basis, then you might reassess to compare where they were. And it's a really cool and powerful tool to use, particularly for if you have an assessment folder that you use at your school as well. And there's other resources here. There's a cool little, you can show your students, talk what the 5 habits of happiness are. We've got these posters here. Actually, that's the wheel legend, so we can't actually, manipulate the wheel to actually what it lands on. So here's the actual lessons that are also the little short activities that are involved in the wheel. And we've got these real cool display posters, which just gives an idea that you can put up in the classroom of what optimism is, and some examples of never giving up, taking the positives from bad situation, etc. And that's a lot of posters there under the titles of different meanings as well. So be grateful, being mindful, being kind, etc. And that's it in a little nutshell. It's been, I think the reason why it's been so popular is because this is based on research we've done with the University of South Australia and getting feedback from the teachers. So this version is actually what teachers wanted. They wanted an online platform that's got fully resourced, it's got everything they need in one spot to carry out a positive education program within the school. So that's it in a nutshell, and please contact me for any further details, and we can get school started in a very short amount of time. And I look forward to touching base with you soon. Bye for now.